Hi, my name is Craig Lloyd, CEO of the Murrindindi Shire Council. Thanks for tuning in to Council's video update for Tuesday the 7th of July. There have been 191 new cases of coronavirus in Victoria today. There are 772 active cases and almost 980,000 tests have been carried out. 35 people are currently in hospital, including 9 patients in intensive care, and 2,028 Victorians have recovered from the virus to date. Sadly, in the last 36 hours, 2 Victorians have lost their lives from this deadly virus. This afternoon, Premier Daniel Andrews announced that Stage 3 restrictions will be reinstated across metropolitan Melbourne as well as Mitchell Shire, and that's from 11:59 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday the 8th of July. These areas are immediately next door to our Shire, but the Stage 3 restrictions have not currently been extended to the Murrindindi Shire. For anyone who lives in Melbourne or in Mitchell Shire, where Stage 3 restrictions do apply, for the next 6 weeks, there will be only 4 reasons for those people to leave home: shopping for food and essential items, care and caregiving, daily exercise but only within the metropolitan area, and work and study for those who can't do it from home. Stage 3 restrictions will apply to all metropolitan Melbourne, and that includes a range of neighbouring local government areas. So for us, that includes Nillumbik, who have had 1 active case, Whittlesea, who have 32 active cases, and Yarra Ranges with 2 active cases. In addition to these metro areas, our neighbour Mitchell Shire will also be under Stage 3 restrictions, as they currently have 5 active cases. So these announcements follow yesterday's announcement that the Victorian border with New South Wales would close from 11:59 p.m. tonight, and a further announcement today that the South Australian border will also close from tomorrow midnight. For those of us who live in regional Victoria, and in particular in Murrindindi Shire, where Stage 3 restrictions are not in place, the current level of restrictions will remain the same for now. But we must not visit any areas of Melbourne except for work, giving essential care or seeking medical treatment. Unlike metropolitan Melbourne, schools will be returning here next week after the school holidays. The restrictions placed on residents in Melbourne mean that we must not be accepting visitors from Melbourne or Mitchell Shire from midnight tomorrow. This includes people visiting our caravan parks, B&Bs, camping, or even staying at your own homes. In a change from the previous Stage 3 restrictions, those people who live in Melbourne but have a holiday home or a second home in our Shire must not visit them. They must stay at their primary residence. Those people from Melbourne or Mitchell Shire that are already here enjoying a holiday can remain until the end of their current holiday. We know this is going to have a significant impact on accommodation providers and caravan park operators. And as I mentioned yesterday, Business Victoria has recently announced funding to support accommodation providers by paying them for cancelled bookings. So there are some conditions on this, so please visit the Business Victoria website for the full details. The Premier also announced that businesses in regional areas, such as cafes and restaurants, will be required to check the ID of guests to ensure that they are not from the lockdown areas of Melbourne or Mitchell Shire. How this and the other measures announced today will work will be made clear and available by the state government tomorrow. And we'll bring you that information as we've got it. As we've done at each change of conditions, council officers will be out and about visiting businesses to guide and support you with any changes that are required and answer any questions or seek clarification where we can. Today the Premier could not have been clearer about the importance of observing restrictions. He said, "We have all seen people flouting restrictions, ignoring social distancing, or failing to observe limits on the number of people in buildings or in businesses. In particular, some young people seem not to understand the effect of ignoring these rules, including by their own capacity to pass on this disease to the most vulnerable in their communities and to their own family members. This is not over. We all have an obligation to follow the rules. There is no option. I'd like to add to what the Premier said, that this is not the time to push the boundaries set by the Victorian Government or be trying to find loopholes that suit us. It's in all of our interest to observe the directions of the Chief Health Officer. I too, as recently as today, have seen some blatant disregard for social distancing in both Alexandra and Yea today. Groups of older residents sitting very close proximity, hugging, kissing. This has to stop. This pandemic has and will kill people. And if we don't want to see the same scenes that we have seen and witnessed on television from the United States, the United Kingdom, and all around the world, it's up to us to do the right thing to keep all of us in our community safe. Please just do the right thing. If you're sick, even with very mild symptoms, please get tested and do not go to work or to school. Please keep practicing good hygiene, maintain the physical distancing by keeping at least 1.5 metres away from others, and take care wherever you go and assume that others may be carrying the virus. We also know that the restrictions announced today in Melbourne and in Mitchell Shire will have an effect on businesses in our shire and right across regional areas. It's also important that we continue wherever we can to support our local businesses and buy local. Businesses are still operating during this challenging time and we all need to get behind them and support them. For more information on the latest restrictions and the directions that will be issued tomorrow morning, please visit the DHHS website at dhhs.vic.gov.au/coronavirus. That's all from me today. Again, thanks for watching. A reminder that you can also tune into UGFM from Monday to Saturday at 8:30 a.m. and on Wednesdays at 9:05 to hear all the latest updates. Please stay safe, social distance.